Hi everyone, welcome back to Pharmacology classes by MSR. So without any delay, let's start the HAP subject. We'll start with the first unit, Introduction to Human Body. So in previous video, we have seen the syllabus involved in the HAP subject. The first unit, which is Introduction to Human Body. So in today's video, we will start with the first topic, which involves the definition and scope of anatomy and physiology, along with the level of structural organization and the body systems. So let's start with the definition and scope of anatomy and physiology. So the subject HAP is nothing but human anatomy and physiology. Anatomy is the study of the structure of the organism and their parts. Anywhere if you listen the term anatomy, it indicates you are going to study the structure. What is the structure of your heart? What is the structure of your eye? So that is learning the structure about a particular organ is nothing but anatomy. Whereas physiology deals with the functions of that particular part. What is the function of heart? Circulation, pumping. So what is the function of a particular organ if you are going to learn? That comes under physiology. So I'm making it clear. Anatomy deals with the structure. Physiology deals with the functions of the living organisms and their parts. So anatomy is of basically two types. Gross anatomy, which can also be termed as macroscopic anatomy, and the next one is microscopic anatomy. So microscopic anatomy, as the name indicates, we are going to study the structures of the organs which are very micro, smaller in size. So what we are using is, we are going to use the microscope to examine the structure of these particular organs. So that is the reason we term it as microscopic anatomy. Whereas macroscopic anatomy or gross anatomy is the organs which can be seen by our naked eyes. Directly by seeing, we can understand, yes, what is the structure. So externally, if you see with your naked eyes also, if you can examine the structure, that comes under macroscopic anatomy. If the structure is very small, you require a microscope to examine the structure, that is microscopic anatomy. So anatomy deals with structures, physiology deals with the functions. What is the scope of anatomy and physiology? What you are going to gain if you are learning this anatomy and physiology? What is the scope of anatomy and physiology? So, by learning this anatomy and physiology, you can know what are the structures of various parts of our body and how they are functioning. What are the important functions, the vital functions of our body, how they are happening. You can know the mechanism, how they are working. So it helps to understand the human body completely. So here you can learn both theoretically and practically how our organs are working collectively. So all our organs are working in a complementary manner together so that they work and they function together. So anatomy and physiology helps us to understand our body organs, what is their structure along with their functions and the mechanism and which structure is required to show a specific function. All this you can learn by anatomy and physiology. So as I told in the previous slide, all our body organs work in a complementary manner for the proper functioning and the normal functioning of our body. Starting with the introduction, the human body is a complex organism which is made up of billions of microscopic parts, each part having its own function, but all these parts work together for the total being. So this human body, it is a single structure which is made up of four structures. These four structures involves the cells, tissues, organs and systems. Moving on to the levels of organization. The first level is cell. Cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of our body which is helping us to maintain our life and it can reproduce themselves. So there are numerous number of cells which is having its own functions. Level 2 comprises of tissues, group of cells with common embryonic origin with similar functions together form a tissue. Group of cells with common embryonic origin and similar functions are grouped together to form as a tissue. So the second level is tissues. First level cells are combined together to form as tissues. And the third level is organ. So group of tissues can be called as organ. So they are more complex units than tissues because we are combining various tissues to form as an organ. So an organ is an organization of several kinds of tissues so that they can perform a specific function. Moving on to the level 4, it is the system. The most complex component of the human body is system. So a system is an organization of various number of organs collectively together form as an system. So there are 11 major systems in our body. Levels of organization. So at the chemical level, the atoms. At the cellular level, the cells like the DNA molecules are present. Then different cells are combined together to form as a tissue, which is a tissue level. Then different tissues combine together to form as an organ, that is organ level. And different organs combine together form as a system. It may be a digestive system, respiratory system. So different systems combine to form as an organism, that is organism level. So there are 11 major organ systems of our body, which includes the integumentary system, the skeleton system, the muscular system, the lymphatic system, the respiratory system, the digestive system, nervous system, endocrine system, cardiovascular system, urinary and reproductive system. So these are the major 11 organ systems of our body. So in both HAP 1 and 2, we will complete the all these systems, anatomy and physiology. What are the structures of various organs in these systems? What is the function of various organs in these systems? We'll be learning in the HAP. So as we have seen, there are 11 major systems. About each and every system in detail we will learn in the upcoming units. But in this video, I will just give you a brief explanation. What is the system? What does it involve? Like that. So the first one is integumentary system, which involves the skin, hair and the nails. So here you can see the structure of the skin. It can have different layers like epidermis, dermis. Coming to the functions, it helps us to protect our body, and it helps us to regulate the body temperature. Then it helps us to maintain hydrated. The fluid levels will be regulated. It helps for the sensory perception. Then it is also helping for the sense of vitamin D. The next system is the skeleton system, which involves the bones and joints. So there are 206 bones, so which are classified into axial and appendicular skeleton system. So hand bones, leg bones, skull bones, rib bones. So there are various bones. So in the second unit, we will deal about the skeleton system. What are the different bones? What is their structure and what is their function in detail? And what are the different joints which is helping for the movement of our bones? All this we will deal in the second unit. And the next system is muscular system. So there are majorly three types of muscles, which are the smooth muscles, cardiac muscles and the skeleton muscles. So this muscles play a major role in our body. They help us to move, speak, chew, they control our heartbeat, breathing, digestion. So there are many functions which are under the control of the muscular system. The next system is lymphatic system, which involves the lymph fluid, lymph vessels and lymph nodes, and it involves the thymus, spleen, tonsils, adenoids, etc. So lymphatic system play a major role in our body, which help us to control our immunity, improve our immunity. They will filter the bacteria or foreign particles, so thereby they improve our immunity. They will drain the excess fluid so that they can prevent the water logging in the tissues and cells, and they will help us to transport the proteins to our blood, and they will absorb the fat from the intestine, and it will be traveled to the liver. So there are many functions of a lymphatic system which will improvise our normal being. The next important system is the respiratory system. Generally, we say respiration is nothing but inhale of air, or that is oxygen, and exhale of the air, that is carbon dioxide. The organs involved in this process of respiration system starts with the nose, larynx, trachea, bronchus, bronchioles, and alveoli, where the exchange of gases will happen. So you can see the movement from nose to larynx, then to trachea, then to the bronchus, then to the bronchioles. So you can see the indication mark how it is been traveling. So this is how the respiration will happen. The next major system of our body is digestive system. Digestion is a process of converting the food whatever we have taken into energy. So the various organs involved starts from the mouth or the oral cavity, then to the pharynx, then esophagus, then stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum and anus. So how this process of digestion starts? First we will chew our food in the mouth, then through the mouth the food enters into the esophagus. So from the esophagus it enters into the stomach, where the food is broken down into smaller particles. Then it enters into the small intestine, where it is converted into liquid. The undigested waste material and water is being converted to them. Then it enters into the large intestine, where the water is absorbed into the bloodstream. Then through the rectum it goes through the anus, where it is being eliminated. Nervous system, which is broadly classified as central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. So the central nervous system involves the brain and spinal cord, and the leftover body is under the control of peripheral nervous system, which is again subclassified as sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So the functional unit of this nervous system is neuron. So you can see the neuron structure. So in this unit about the nervous system, we will see how the neurons are communicated, what are the neurotransmitters, how the action potential is generated, what is nerve impulse, what is neuromuscular junction, what are the structures and functions of various organs of central nervous system as well as peripheral nervous system. We will learn in the nervous system. Endocrine system releases its hormones directly into the circulation. So the major glands of the endocrine system involves the pineal gland, hypothalamus, pituitary gland, thyroid gland, thymus, adrenal gland, pancreas and gonads, which are ovaries in the females and testes in the males. So what are the various hormones produced by these glands and what are the disorders of these glands, we will be learning in the endocrine system. Cardiovascular system, which involves cardio, indicates the heart. So it has four different chambers. Right side of the heart has the impure blood, whereas the left side receives the pure blood from the lungs, that is oxygenated blood. So the inferior vena cava and superior vena cava will collect the impure blood from all the body organs. Then that impure blood collected by the inferior vena cava and superior vena cava will be collected into the right atrium. So you can see the indication over here. Through the inferior vena cava the blood is entering into the right atrium. Then from right atrium it enters into right ventricle. You can see the indication mark. From right ventricle to the pulmonary artery it will be reaching the lungs, where the oxygenation of blood will happen, that is purification of blood will happen. Then through the pulmonary vein the oxygenated or pure blood will enter into the left atrium, then it enters into left ventricle, then through the aorta it will be circulated to various parts of our body. Next system is the urinary system, which involves the kidneys, ureter, urinary bladder and urethra. So the functional unit of the kidneys is nephrons, where the filtration of urine will happen, formation of urine, and it is being excreted through the urethra. So we will see the various structures involved in the urinary system along with their functions. Reproductive system. So this system is separate in the males and females. The organs involved in the reproductive system will be separate for the females and for males. So they help for the process of reproduction. So we will learn in detail about the structures and functions of various organs of reproductive system in detail. So in this video we have seen the definition and scope of the anatomy and physiology along with the levels of organization, what is cell, what is tissue, what is an organ, what is a system. So group of systems together form as an organism. What are the major organ systems of our body? So in brief I have given explanation about the all level major systems. In the upcoming units we will deal in detail about all these systems. Thank you.